My child, stop right now, wherever you are. Do not scroll past this sacred message. I see your hidden pain. Heaven has set an invisible clock for this exact moment, and you have only a few seconds to pay attention before this holy opportunity passes. Stay right here with me. My spirit gently drew your tired soul into this divine encounter right now. I have tried everything to reach your heart. I whispered to you in your quiet moments. I knocked on your spirit during your darkest nights. But the loud noise of the world was too overwhelming, and your mind was far too busy trying to solve heavy problems that were never yours to carry alone. So I stepped directly into your path today. You feel completely exhausted. Your shoulders are tight with constant stress. The heavy weight on your chest is real. And every single morning when you wake up from a restless night, that cold cloud of anxiety is already sitting on your spirit before you even open your eyes to face the world. You are tired of fighting every battle alone. You put on your smile today like armor. You wore it for everyone around you. You pretended to be strong and unbroken. And even though you gave away your very last drop of energy to help everyone else survive their daily struggles, nobody stopped to check if your own soul was quietly falling apart. You sacrificed your peace for their comfort. I saw you during the midnight hours. The entire house was completely silent. The rest of the world was sleeping peacefully. Your mind turned over every unanswered question and every single unpaid bill that kept you awake while hot tears quietly soaked your pillow in the dark. You wiped those tears away alone because you had no one to lean on. You tried everything in your human strength to fix this broken situation. You planned everything carefully. You worked extra long hours. You prayed until your voice grew faint in the dark room. And when nothing changed, despite all your hard work, a quiet voice whispered that heaven had forgotten your name and ignored your cries. You felt completely abandoned. Hear me clearly today, my precious child. The long silence was not abandonment. The painful delay was never my rejection, and every closed door that shattered your dreams was actually my holy hand stepping in to protect you from a hidden trap that would have destroyed your future destiny. I was making room for something far greater. This message is my final warning to your searching soul. Do not treat this like a random video on your feed. You are standing at a dangerous spiritual crossroads right now. Weariness is pushing you toward a decision made from fear. And if you walk away right now, you risk stepping into a wrong turn that will prolong your wilderness season. I am stepping in to stop you. I am stepping in to lift what you could not carry alone. You passed a hidden test that you did not even know you were taking. You kept your heart clean while walking through the fire. When people hurt you deeply without any cause, you still chose mercy instead of bitterness, and that holy endurance moved the entire realm of heaven. Your test is officially complete. The enemy lied to your mind. He desperately wanted you to give up today. He saw your breakthrough coming closer than ever. He knows that the seal over your provision is cracking open right now, and he is terrified of the royal authority you carry as a child of the King. That is why the spiritual battle became so fierce in recent weeks. Stay right here with me in this sacred pause. Something profound is shifting in the atmosphere right now. I am dismantling the hidden barrier that kept your life in a holding pattern. I will reveal why your hardest doors remained locked for so long, and I will show you how the season of constant struggle ends today. Your turnaround begins in this exact minute. Declare your amen right now if your spirit is open to receive. Speak it quietly in your heart. Write it down as a holy decree. Do not let distraction steal this encounter from your soul, because the answer you prayed for in secret is about to be placed directly into your waiting hands. Heaven is listening closely to your response. Take a deep, slow breath right now. Feel my unshakable peace settling over your mind. The heavy fog of confusion is lifting away from your eyes. You can finally let go of the desperate control you held so tightly, because I am taking full command of the heavy battles you could never win on your own. You are safe in my presence. You fought with human wisdom for far too long. You drained all your natural strength. You exhausted your financial resources and your emotions. You spent long years trying to push open heavy iron doors using your own limited power, but now my sovereign hand is stepping in to accomplish what you could never do alone. My grace is taking over your life. Listen to the gentle rhythm of my voice above the noise. This moment was scheduled in eternity before the world was founded. You were picked out of millions to hear this sacred revelation today. What I am unraveling in these next few minutes will settle your soul in deep rest and alter the trajectory of your entire lineage forever. Stay close to me until the end. I know the exact moment your soul became so tired. You sat at the edge of your bed while the whole house slept in peace. The silence was heavy, and as you stared into the quiet darkness, every fear you tried to ignore during the day came rushing back into your mind like a sudden flood. You felt overwhelmed. Your mind was racing fast. You have spent years being the strong one for everyone around you. You answered every late-night phone call. You gave your money. You shared your wisdom. And even when your own heart was secretly breaking into pieces, you pushed your own needs aside so that you could fix the broken lives of the people you love. You gave until you had nothing left to give. People look at you and they see strength and resilience. They think you have everything under control. They compliment your steady faith. But they do not see the invisible scars beneath your smile, and they do not understand how much effort it takes to stand straight when your world feels like it is falling apart. They only see the results of your grace. Do you remember those dark hours between midnight and morning? You lay under the heavy blankets with your eyes wide open. You stared at the ceiling. Your chest felt tight. And as you turned from side to side trying to find rest, you wondered how much longer you could keep carrying this painful burden before your spirit broke completely under the pressure. You felt so deeply alone in that room. I caught every single tear that rolled down your face during those silent nights. Not one of them was wasted or forgotten. I saw you press your face into your pillows so nobody would hear your quiet cries. I felt the sharp pain in your heart when you asked me why the valley was so long and why the answers to your prayers seemed so far away. I heard every whisper. You feel ashamed because you are tired of being strong. You wonder if your exhaustion means your faith is weak. But I am here to tell you today that weariness is not a sin, and your weary tears are not a sign of failure. You carried a heavy load meant for two people. You walked through a brutal season with relentless courage. Your heart is simply exhausted from fighting for so long without rest. You have bled quietly while helping others heal from their wounds. You paid for their mistakes with your own peace. You poured out your spirit into empty wells. And when you finally needed someone to stand by your side during your own time of trouble, you looked around and found yourself standing all alone in the cold wind. Nobody offered to hold your heavy hand. The disappointment cut your soul deeper than any sword ever could. You felt betrayed by the very people you sacrificed so much to lift up. You wondered why your pure kindness was met with cold distance. You asked yourself if you were wrong for trusting them so completely, and the bitter pain of that betrayal made you want to shut your heart forever. You wanted to build high walls. Your mind has become a battlefield of endless noise and worry. You wake up with your heart racing fast. You check your phone for good news. You wait for relief. And every single day feels like an uphill climb against a steep mountain that never seems to end, leaving your spirit drained before the afternoon even begins. You are so exhausted from worrying about tomorrow. You have carried the heavy financial worries of your entire household upon your tired shoulders. You worried about the rising bills. You worried about your future. You tried to make every dollar stretch further. And while you pretended that everything would be fine to protect your family from fear, your own mind was silently suffocated by the heavy threat of constant lack. The stress was eating you alive inside. I saw you put on your armor again this morning before stepping out your front door. You adjusted your clothes. You forced a bright smile. You spoke cheerful words to your neighbors. But beneath that brave mask, your spirit was crying out for a soft place to fall, desperate for someone to step in and lift the unbearable weight off your chest. I heard your silent cry for help. I know you are afraid that things will never get better for you. You look at your current circumstances and you see no way out. You feel like you are trapped in an endless loop of disappointment, and every small step forward is immediately met with two giant steps backward, leaving you to wonder if life will always push you down to the dust. You feel stuck in the dark. Listen to me very carefully right now, my precious child. I am not angry with you for feeling this deep level of weariness. I do not scold you for your honest tears. I am leaning down close to your wounded spirit right now to wrap my loving arms around your shoulders, offering you the deep rest you have been searching for across these long years. You can drop the armor now. You do not have to pretend to be strong in my holy presence today. You do not have to perform or prove your worth to receive my love. You can let the heavy burden fall to the ground right now. My grace is sufficient for your weakness, and my power is made perfect in the quiet moments when you have no strength left in your own body. You are completely safe with me. You have asked me why I stayed silent for so long. You screamed into the empty air during your darkest moments. The heavy quiet in your room was deafening, and while you listened closely for a comforting word that never seemed to come, your heart slowly began to wonder if I had turned my back on your suffering forever. But I need you to hear the truth today. My silence was never a sign of my absence. A goldsmith does not shout at the precious metal while it sits inside the furnace. He leans over the hot furnace in deep focus. He watches every single glowing spark with deep care, and he stays completely silent because his full attention is locked on the refining process until his own face is clearly reflected on the surface. I was watching over your tired spirit every single second. I held the precise temperature of your furnace. I made sure the heat refined your character without destroying your fragile heart. You felt completely abandoned while sitting alone in the dark. But in reality, you were held in my hands while I reshaped your heart into a royal vessel capable of holding massive blessings. Think about every single door that slammed shut in your face during this long season. You prayed so hard for those doors to open. You wept bitterly when they remained locked tight. You questioned your own inner worth and your purpose, and you felt an overwhelming sense of rejection as you watched other people walk effortlessly into the very opportunities that were denied to you. I locked those heavy doors to save your life. Behind those glittering opportunities was a hidden snare. It was carefully designed by the enemy to drain your spiritual power. If I had answered your desperate prayers back then, you would have entered a season of hidden sorrow that would have shattered your heart beyond repair. My closed doors were always my holy protection for your life. What you called a rejection was actually my redirection. I moved you away from tables where you were tolerated. I removed you from paths that looked promising on the outside. And I actively cleared your crowded environment because I was preparing a clean space where you could step directly into your true destiny. You were saved from a very dangerous trap. Now is the moment to lock this divine peace deeply into your mind and spirit. Pause right here and take a slow breath. Write down these words in the comments right now to seal this breakthrough. Type the words, "I accept this redirection," and feel the heavy weight of regret completely lift away from your chest. Heaven is recording your bold decree in this very minute. When you accept my redirection, you stop fighting my sovereign will. You stop mourning over doors meant to stay closed. You begin to see my higher divine perspective. And every single delay in your timeline was carefully calculated by heaven because I was aligning you with a harvest that cannot be stolen by your enemies. Your divine timeline was never ruined by your mistakes. You thought you were falling behind everyone else in life. You looked at their quick progress with deep sadness. You felt a painful sting of silent shame inside. And while you watched them celebrate their victories, you wondered why your own path was filled with endless obstacles and painful waiting. You felt completely left behind in the dark. An ordinary foundation can be built in a few short days. A grand royal palace always requires deep foundation work. I spent time digging deep into your soul during the quiet years. I strengthened your spiritual pillars because I needed your soul to carry the immense weight of the favor that is about to flood your household. Your spiritual foundation is now standing rock solid. Hear me clearly right now, my precious one. The long winter of your life is turning into spring. The doors that were locked tight in your past are disappearing, and in their place, I am opening wide portals of divine opportunity that no human being on earth will ever have the power to close. You are standing at a glorious new beginning today. Do not look back at the locked doors with sadness. Release the lingering bitterness toward those who left you. They were only allowed to stay for a brief chapter. But the chapter sitting directly ahead of your life requires a completely different level of spiritual authority and divine alignment. Their sudden departure cleared your path for growth. You needed room to grow without their negative influence. You needed space to hear my voice without their loud doubts. I pruned those old branches with extreme care. And even though the cutting process felt painful at the time, it was necessary so that your spirit could produce abundant fruit that will last forever. Your painful pruning season is now officially over. Keep this private revelation locked inside your heart as we move forward. There is a second seal over your life that I am preparing to shatter. It is the invisible barrier over your provision. It held your finances in a tight holding pattern for years, but my sovereign power is coming down to shatter that chain before this holy encounter ends. Stay right here in my presence with me. Stop looking at your wilderness season as a graveyard of your lost dreams. The enemy tried to convince you that the fire was sent to destroy your life and burn away your hope. He wanted you to believe that you were being punished for your past mistakes, but he lied to your mind. The wilderness was never your graveyard. It was always your holy breeding ground for divine authority. You felt like an alabaster jar being crushed under a heavy stone. The pressure was intense. The pain cut deep into your soul. And during those moments of crushing pressure, you cried out because you felt like your life was being shattered into useless pieces. But an alabaster jar must be broken open to release the precious fragrance sealed inside. You were not destroyed. You were not broken down in that dark valley. You were being broken open so that the deep anointing I placed inside your spirit could finally overflow into a thirsty world. What felt like an ending was actually a holy unlocking. The sweet fragrance of your endurance is filling the halls of heaven right now. Your suffering produced a rare oil of authority that cannot be bought with gold. Think about the hard test you walked through just a short time ago. You were tested in the dark when no human eyes were watching your movements. You were tested when your heart was bleeding from deep wounds, and every voice in your mind told you to give up. You could have chosen bitterness. You could have walked away from your faith in anger, but you kept your heart pure. You passed the hardest test of your entire life without even realizing you were taking it. You stood firm when your knees were trembling with fear. You kept speaking words of life while sitting in the dark shadow of lack. And that quiet faithfulness moved my heart deeply. The test is officially over, my child. The season of crushing has completed its holy work inside your soul. A refiner never leaves his pure gold in the furnace longer than necessary. He leans over the heat and watches every single spark with precise attention. He waits for the exact moment when the impurities float away and his own image is clearly reflected in the glowing liquid gold. I saw my reflection in your tears last night. Your heart has been refined. You are coming out as pure gold. The adversary thought he had successfully buried your calling in the dust of the desert. He thought your story would end in silent obscurity and defeat, but he did not realize that you were a seed planted in fertile soil. What he designed to bury you was actually used by my hand to position you for a massive harvest. You are rising up from the dark soil stronger than before. Take a moment right now to release the heavy shame of that painful season. Pause with me in this sacred quiet. Take a deep, slow breath and feel the lingering tension leaving your shoulders. Say in your quiet spirit, "I am not broken," and let those simple words settle deeply into your mind. The heavy burden of defeat is falling off your life in this very minute. You do not have to carry the heavy shame of your past struggles anymore. Every scar on your heart is a holy badge of honor in the spiritual realm. Those scars do not mean you failed. They prove that you survived the fierce attack of the enemy and walked out of the fire victorious. You carry the marks of a proven warrior who refused to surrender under extreme heat. Look at your hands right now. They may feel weary and weak from long years of endless labor. But I am placing a fresh royal mantle over your shoulders today. The season of wandering through the hot desert sand has come to its final end. You are stepping out of the dry wilderness and walking directly onto the fertile soil of your promised land. Your dry season is over. Do not let the quiet whispers of fatigue rob you of this sacred shift. The adversary knows that your spirit is standing directly at the threshold of a huge breakthrough. He will try to distract your mind with worldly worries before this message concludes. But stay steadfast with me until the very end. The revelation coming in the next few minutes carries the exact key to your freedom. You are about to see why the fire was necessary for your royal calling. You needed to know your own strength in my presence. You needed to know that you could stand unbroken when the whole world shook beneath your feet. Now you carry an unshakable confidence that cannot be moved by human opinions or dark spiritual attacks. You are stepping into an elevated authority. Keep your eyes fixed forward as we step into the next chapter of your restoration. I am about to dismantle every single counterfeit label that the enemy tried to attach to your name during your lowest moments. I am restoring your royal identity as a child of the King, and no power on earth will ever take that authority away from you. Stay close to my voice as I speak. Look at the ugly labels the adversary tried to stick onto your soul during your darkest hours. He called you a failure. He whispered that you were forgotten by heaven. He told you that your best days were behind you and that you were far too broken to be useful again. And because you were so exhausted from the battle, you started to believe those wicked lies and accepted his counterfeit identity for your life. I am tearing down every single counterfeit label right now in my holy presence. Hear my voice above the enemy. You are not a victim, merely surviving in a cold world. You were never meant to crawl through life in constant shame and fear. You are a royal heir to the kingdom of heaven, anointed with holy power and set apart before the foundations of the earth were ever laid. That royal lineage can never be revoked by human rejection or financial lack. People in your past tried to name you by your mistakes. They judged your heart by your lowest moments. They labeled you as weak when you wept in secret, and they wrote you off when your plans collapsed into dust. But human judgment carries zero weight in heaven. I do not look at past failures to determine value, because my blood paid for your complete redemption. Stop defining your life by old scars. You walked through a brutal valley. Those scars do not mean you failed the test. They are holy proof that you faced the army of darkness, stood your ground in the heat of battle, and emerged victorious as a mighty warrior of heaven. You carry a deep anointing that terrifies the realm of darkness whenever you step into a room. The adversary fought you so hard in recent months because he saw who you truly are in the spirit realm. He recognized your royal crown sitting invisibly upon your head. He saw that you were standing right at the threshold of your divine inheritance, and he desperately tried to make you give up before you could claim your spiritual treasures. His fierce attack was a clear sign of his deep terror. Take back your spiritual authority right now in this sacred encounter. Stand tall in your true royal identity. You cowered beneath the heavy shadow of doubt for far too long. Now I am placing a golden scepter of divine command back into your hands, and you have the power to decree light into your darkest places today. Every mountain of hardship must move out of your path now. Speak with bold authority into the atmosphere today. Say these words out loud to seal your breakthrough. Write them down in this quiet moment. Proclaim with a firm voice, I am a royal heir, and feel the ancient chains of shame completely shatter off your soul in this exact minute. Heaven is recording your bold declaration, and angels are moving to fulfill your royal decree. You are no longer a slave to fear or anxiety. The spirit of poverty has no legal right to dwell in your household anymore. The dark spirit of confusion must pack its bags and leave your mind immediately, because the holy light of my royal presence is illuminating every quiet corner of your spirit. You are stepping into a grand realm of deep peace and absolute clarity. The enemy tried to make you believe that you were fighting an impossible battle alone. He wanted you to feel helpless and small. But I have assigned warrior angels to encompass your home on every side, protecting your family from every hidden attack of darkness. You stand under divine cover, and no weapon formed against you will prosper. You walk in total victory. Listen closely to what I unveil now before this holy message concludes. 3 heavy seals kept you bound in a tight holding pattern for long years. You spent long seasons waiting for relief while sitting in the dark. The seal of financial lack, the seal of mental confusion, and the seal of generational delay are standing directly before us in this holy hour. I am preparing to shatter all 3 seals at once. Do not turn away from this sacred presence as we approach the climax of this hour. We are standing directly at the threshold of your complete freedom. The enemy wants to distract your mind so that you miss the exact minute your seals are broken forever. but you must stay steadfast right here with me until the end. Your long season of hiding in the dark shadows is officially over. Walk forward today with your head held high and your heart full of holy authority. You carry divine courage inside your spirit. Do not beg for human crumbs when your Father owns the entire universe and holds all wealth in his hands, because you can step into your royal calling with complete confidence today. Your glorious breakthrough stands directly ahead of your path. I know the deep ache in your soul. Those you trusted most walked away from your life when you needed them most. You poured your genuine love into those relationships for years. And when you faced your own brutal trials in the dark, they turned their backs and left you standing completely alone in the cold wind. You felt deeply betrayed by their cold distance. You spent long months wondering what went wrong. You searched your heart for hidden mistakes. You replayed old conversations until your head ached from overthinking. But hear my voice clearly today, my child, because their sudden departure was never your failure or your fault. It was my active hand pruning your life to protect your future destiny. The smallness of their comfort was not enough for your calling. They could never hold the magnitude of your divine glory. They only loved the old, broken version of you that was content with surviving in the desert sand. And when I began to elevate your spirit into royal authority, their hidden envy made it impossible for them to stay near your light. They could not travel into your future. A gardener does not prune branches out of anger. He cuts away the old growth with extreme care and love. He knows those fading branches are draining vital life from the root. And he prunes the entire tree so that its roots can push deeper into the rich soil and produce a massive harvest of sweet fruit when the appointed season arrives. I pruned your life for a harvest. Stop holding on to the bitter memories today. Release the desperate desire to prove your inner worth to them. They deliberately chose to misunderstand your clean heart and your sacrifices. When you forgive them from the depths of your soul, you shatter the legal chain that connects your past suffering to your glorious new chapter. You break their heavy grip on your mind forever. Close the door on those old relationships with complete peace. Take a slow, deep breath right now. Speak with firm authority into the atmosphere. Say out loud, I release the past, and write those words down in this quiet moment to lock this sacred freedom deeply into your spirit. Heaven is sealing your complete release from every toxic bond in this very minute. I am not leaving you isolated in an empty space. I cleared the crowded room around your life for a reason. I am establishing a brand new foundation of divine connections for your household. I am sending loyal companions and trustworthy guardians who will honor the royal mantle you carry and stand faithfully by your side through every battle. Your lonely season is officially over. Old opportunities also dried up in recent months. Business deals and safe income streams vanished into thin air. You felt terrified by the sudden loss of your financial security. But I closed those small human channels because they were keeping you dependent on worldly systems instead of trusting the unlimited supply of heaven. I am your true source of total abundance. The painful pruning process is complete in your life today. The soil of your heart is clean and refined. You are completely ready for the heavy rain of my blessing. We are stepping directly into the holy hour you prayed for during those dark nights, where the 3 ancient seals over your destiny will be shattered by my sovereign power. Your waiting season is ending now. You do not need to look back at the past anymore. Their absence was my holy shield around your heart. I removed those people before they could inflict a deeper wound upon your spirit. If those individuals had remained in your inner circle during this next season of massive increase, they would have used your private victories to destroy your peace. My timing was absolutely perfect. Wipe away your last lingering tears today, my child. Lift your eyes to the glowing horizon before you. A grand royal table is being prepared directly in the presence of your enemies. The very people who walked away from you in your time of trouble will soon look back and realize that they walked away from a royal heir. You will stand as living proof of my glory. Feel the heavy weight completely leaving your heart right now. You are no longer bound by grief or regret. Your spirit is light, peaceful, and totally free. I am aligning every single detail of your future in this exact minute, and the breakthrough that stood locked behind iron doors is swinging wide open before your eyes. The hour of your royal freedom has arrived. Prepare your spirit for the sacred shift taking place right now. The long wilderness is behind your back forever. I am stepping onto the stage of your life with unyielding power. And the harvest that was delayed for long years is about to be released into your waiting hands in full measure without any hindrance from the adversary. Stay close to my voice as the chains fall. The atmosphere over your life is shaking right now under my sovereign decree. The long season of waiting is officially over. Heaven has opened wide above your household, and my holy power is coming down like a rushing wind to dismantle every dark stronghold that held your spirit captive in the shadows. Look up, my precious child, for your moment of divine liberation has finally arrived. I declare over your life right now that the 3 ancient seals binding your destiny are shattering into 1,000 pieces. The adversary fought with relentless fury to keep those seals locked tight over your family, but his authority in your life is destroyed, and the dark chains that held your progress back for long decades are falling into the dust right before your eyes. I speak to the first seal today, the heavy seal of relational heartbreak and loneliness that suffocated your heart. I break its power over your soul forever. The painful sting of past betrayal is wiped clean from your memory, and the dark spirit of isolation that made you feel unloved is fleeing from your dwelling right now. You are surrounded by my unconditional love and divine protection. I speak to the second seal today, the heavy seal of mental turmoil and sleepless anxiety that drained your strength. I shatter its hold over your mind this very minute. The heavy fog of confusion is completely lifted away from your thoughts, and an unshakable peace that surpasses all human understanding is settling over your weary spirit right now. You will sleep deeply tonight without fear. I speak to the third seal today, the ancient seal of financial lack and generational debt that held your lineage in captivity. I decree that the doors of heavenly provision are swinging wide open over your household in this exact minute. The seal of lack is cracked open forever, and the hidden wealth of the kingdom is being released directly into your hands to transform your entire lineage. Stand tall in your royal identity right now as these chains shatter. Speak with bold authority into the atmosphere and speak these words out loud to claim your complete freedom. Say with a firm voice, I am free from the chains of delay, and write those words down right now to lock this breakthrough into your spirit. Heaven is recording your powerful proclamation this very second. Listen to me very carefully now, my beloved child. A heart that holds its hand tightly closed in a clenched fist is a heart operating from the fear of lack. A clenched fist holds on to fear, doubt, and earthly security, but a royal heir walks with an open hand, ready to release a seed of faith because they know that their Father in heaven holds an endless supply that can never run dry. You are standing at a sacred threshold of total transformation today. Do not hold back your faith and fear. When you step forward in faith and place a holy seed upon the altar of obedience, you are not losing a portion of your supply. You are releasing a spiritual anchor into the massive harvest that I have prepared for your household before the foundations of the world were laid. I am asking you today for an open hand. Open your physical hand right where you are sitting. Open your heart in complete trust and release your seed of faith upon the stone altar of this calling. Watch how heaven responds when a child of the King dares to trust my promise with total obedience. The floodgates of blessing are unlocking over your life in response to your faith. What you release today in faith will move ahead into your future as living proof of your victory. The adversary tried to convince you to hold tightly to your small remaining strength out of fear. But I am stepping in to multiply your seed 100-fold, turning your small offering of obedience into a monumental tide of favor, restoration, and permanent freedom for your entire family. Feel the sudden shift in the spiritual realm right now as your seed touches the altar. The heavy burden that sat on your shoulders for long years is completely lifted away. The doors that were locked tight in your past are dissolving into nothingness, and my sovereign hand is placing the golden keys of your breakthrough directly into your open palm. You are walking into open country today. Every scheme designed against your financial peace, your emotional rest, and your royal purpose is permanently broken. The long winter of your life is officially over, and the glorious spring of your divine inheritance is beginning right now. Walk forward with your head held high, my child, for the Lord of hosts has declared your complete victory, and nothing on earth can stop it. Do not let any lingering doubt steal the holy authority that was restored to your spirit today. You walked through the fire and emerged as pure gold. Now step into the fullness of your royal destiny with unyielding confidence, knowing that my presence walks beside you into every open door. The chapter of testing is closed, and the hour of your eternal reward has officially begun. Now, quiet your breathing, my beloved child. Take a slow, deep breath right where you sit. Feel the heavy weight completely leaving your chest. The fierce battle is no longer yours to fight, because I have taken full command of your situation today. And as you release the frantic desire to control every outcome, my unshakable presence is wrapping around your soul like a warm blanket. You can finally rest now. Close your tired eyes for a moment, and let my love fill every corner of your mind. You walked through a long storm with endless courage. You endured the furnace without breaking down. And now, my deep peace, which surpasses all human understanding, is settling over your spirit like quiet morning dew. The endless noise of the world is fading far into the background. Hear this holy sealing prayer over your life and your household right now. Father in heaven, I seal every word of promise declared over this precious soul today. I place a holy hedge of protection around their mind, their body, their home, and their entire lineage. No weapon formed against their peace will ever prosper, and every dark strategy designed to bring them fear is dismantled right now. I cover their sleep tonight with my sovereign wings. Let every lingering seed of anxiety dissolve completely into nothingness before the morning comes. Let every dark thought of lack, confusion, and fear be washed away by the gentle river of my grace. And as they rest quietly in my presence, let their spirit be renewed with fresh strength and heavenly wisdom. I seal the 3 broken doors over their destiny right now. I seal their financial restoration so that no thief can steal their harvest ever again. I seal their relational peace so that no toxic bond can return to cause them pain in this new chapter. And I seal their royal identity as a child of the King to walk in total victory every single day of their life. Keep this sacred revelation quiet in your heart for a season, my child. Do not rush out to explain this holy shift to people who were never meant to understand your journey. A fragile seed must stay hidden beneath the warm, dark soil before it breaks through the earth to bear visible fruit for all to see. Your private victory is safe with me. Protect the holy seed that was planted in your spirit today from the noisy opinions of the world. When you keep this private encounter close to your chest, you allow my power to strengthen its roots inside your soul without any worldly distraction. Let the quiet work of heaven mature in complete peace before you display your breakthrough to the crowd. You do not need to seek human approval anymore because my royal hand has already set you apart for greatness. Let your restored life speak for itself when the appointed time arrives. The very people who doubted your calling will soon witness the abundant harvest blooming in your household, and they will know that the Lord has blessed your life with glory. Declare your final amen right now to seal this entire encounter into eternity. Write it down in your quiet spirit or type it in the comments below as your permanent decree. Check the pinned comment below to stay closely connected with our faithful community, where we continue to lift each other up in prayer and stand together in holy unity every single day. Go forth now with your head lifted high and your heart full of unshakable confidence. The heavy winter of testing is officially behind your back, and a glorious season of divine favor stands wide open directly ahead of you. You are no longer bound by the painful chains of your past, and you carry the light of my kingdom wherever your feet may tread. Sleep tonight in deep, undisturbed serenity, knowing that my warrior angels encompass your home on every side. What I have declared over your life today shall surely come to pass, and nothing in heaven or on earth can ever stop your destiny. You are loved. You are chosen, and you are forever held in my victorious hands. My grace goes before you into every single step of your grand new chapter. Walk in total freedom, walk in royal dignity, and remember that I am walking beside you through every season. Peace be still over your heart, peace be still over your mind, and peace be still over your home forever and ever. Amen.